I literally gave you my best stuff
I know.
through the whole main course.
I'm so sorry.
I don't have nothing to talk about now. I can't believe it. Can't believe. Just for the record, George forgot to record the whole main course when we were coming out with our best chat. Should we just give a quick summary?
I feel like we can continue. I feel
yeah.
There's still a lot more there.
Okay.
To discuss.
Fine.
Yeah.
I have a question then.
Okay.
If we're talking about energy, and actually beforehand you were talking, saying things you're grateful for. What? I totally did that as well. I love it.
I've never made jelly before.
Have you not? This is so good, George. Let me try it as you're kneading it. Oh, that is tasty.
Okay.
Oh, you can definitely taste the passion fruit in that. What? How did you make it?
So it's
Oh my god.
it's a mango, lime, and passion fruit jelly.
Oh, try it. This is so delicious.
Yeah.
Did you put them at the top? Did you sprinkle them in first, the seeds, or did they just fall like that?
I had to do them while it was setting, so 30 minutes into its settling process, or setting process rather. I had to like stir it in.
So much effort. Oh my god, so impressed. I'm literally so impressed with that. I think I'm about to give you a 10.
Oh.
I'm just so impressed with it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like it looks great, it tastes delicious. The presentation is bang on with that.
Okay, thank you.
It tastes great. Sorry, so you're grateful for me to come in for dinner?
You're gonna laugh at this. I'm grateful that although we didn't record a whole main course, at least we have the starter and dessert. At least we did not lose everything.
At least we checked it and we realised it wasn't recording. It's a good job we were like, should we have a quick break? You absolute wally.
You know what? I'm also grateful that I've learned that lesson, because I'm never making that mistake again.
No. You're right, I think just don't turn it off. Do you just turn? I just leave it.
I'm just gonna leave it.
Leave it running. Yeah. Damn.
Do you know what it means as well?
What?
I'll give you a bonus. It also means that you get to return again as a guest.
Like another.
So,
Oh!
so
Stop it! I feel so privileged. I have to find another dress. And I've just for the record, guys, I've been not wearing any dresses at all for months because there's nowhere to go, and this is my first time I've worn a dress, and this is for you, George, because I'm on camera.
It's always for you.
Whistles, just so you know, really good quality.
What are you grateful for?
What am I grateful for? Okay, I'm going to start at the beginning of my day today. Just for today, I am grateful for Robin turning up, actually, and we actually had a surprisingly lovely morning and day, she was just turning up to my house to be measured because she's going to do modelling for me this week. And then we were like, oh, we'll go coffee. And it just turned us to having a really lovely long walk, getting coffee.
Sorry.
It's alright. If you want to get involved in the chat, won't stop you. Jesus. Getting a bell. No more rum for you.
It's not the wrong.
Is it the bubbles? Joking.
Okay, yeah, so lovely chat.
Anyway, so I'm really grateful. I had that turned into a really nice morning, day, stuff like that. It was great. Really material. I'm really grateful that I managed to get a pedicure.
It's not bad, then.
I haven't had one for months,
Yeah.
and they literally were claws.
I'm sure they look horrible.
They look awful, and they're now pretty in pink. And I got a little massage, a foot massage, and in a massage chair. What more do you need?
Yeah, small things, small wins.
Small things. And then I am grateful that you asked me as one of your guests this weekend to do this.
Aww.
I think it's lovely, and whether you're doing this or not, it's always lovely to see you and have a lovely dinner and catch up, because I think, you know, it's, at the moment, it's sometimes hard to keep in touch with people, especially people you work with, you have friendships with or something, you know. I don't really, if I'm honest, really see anyone else properly from work that much who I'm friends with.
You're so special.
You are special. So I'd really, you know, with anything, I've always said to myself, I always keep putting it out there, but I don't know anymore if I really want to do this, but or like work abroad for a different brand. But I don't know where I'd go, or, you know, what country or whatever either. And now I'm starting to wonder, and I don't like to think like this, but I might be 35 now, maybe, you know, you need to sort of just stay, you know, stay where you are.
And you're going to see that.
Oh God, or not just like the thought, not even for work-wise, just the thought of like moving to a different country and starting again. It's quite exhausting. Like, I've been in London for 15 years now, and I have my friends, I've set up a good group of, you know, not different pockets of friends, which, you know, some people, you know, I value my friends as family to me because of the lack of it in London, or lack of it in general, and building that's important to me. And however much I love new adventures and doing things like that, going somewhere else and then trying to start again, especially at my age, especially in your 30s, trying to break into other groups of friends with other people who are in their 30s, they've already rebuilt that as well, you know. So it's like, I don't know if I want to put myself through that again, you know, try and start that again, because it's also like, I don't know if I told you, I've been chatting to this guy called Hugh, who lives in New York, and he's a guy I dated a while ago, and then got back in touch. Anyway, we've been still in contact and stuff, and we do a bit of FaceTime or whatever. And he moved to New York again over a year ago now. And since he's been there, he's made 2 or 3 friends. That's it. He says, because he said his level of job there is so high up that the people who would normally want to go out for a beer with, they won't really interact with him because of their way he looks at this sort of level. But there are not enough people on his level to be like trying to do that. They've all got families and live out of New York, or the next higher up level, like CEO type things. So it's quite tricky. And then he's got like maybe 2 or 3 people max he might know he can go back to, who are more expat stuff. And he says, and has been quite, he said it's found it really quite lonely and quite a bit of a struggle for him. And you know, everyone's an individual, everyone's different in how they react to things.
It's a reality.
But it does feel like that sometimes, you know, trying to do that again. But I mean, for me, I'm this year, which is not going to happen because of the fact that we can't really travel very easily, I wanted to go to different cities just to see what they're like, to see what type of vibe there is, and could I live there? I was going to go to Amsterdam, Berlin, Paris again. I'd love to go to New York and just check out these places and be like, could I imagine myself here? It's just shot to shit. You know what, I love Dublin. Like, Dublin is one of my favourite places as well, because because I've been there a lot now. But again, work for me there isn't really anything there. It's a brand, so it's hard.
What motivates you?
Ooh. In general, or like just waking up every day? In life?
I mean, if it's multiple answers, sure, let's hear them.
If it's what?
If you have multiple answers.
I don't know, I have to really think about this one. What motivates
Generally
me?
in life, for example. Do you have goals that you're trying to achieve?
How can I not answer that question? I'm really stumped because I'm trying to think.
Yeah.
What motivates me is the idea of, weirdly, like, if I say even just to get up every day, the thought of going for this walk in this wooded area I go to every single day, and I do similar walk, and I love it so much, and if I don't do that in the morning, if I don't do it, it doesn't motivate me at all for the rest of the day. I have to do it to now. It kind of like, it's that nature, and being around nature gives me that energy to move forward, and I go, because I think with work, when we work in the office, you have that time between your house to work where you're travelling to go through stuff in your head, just like it's almost a break before you start work. Where it's got in, beginning of lockdown, I kind of got into a habit of just getting out, waking up and just going straight into it. And actually, I need that bit in the middle before I start work to wake up, to process, to go through stuff, stuff like that.
Like when you're going on your walks, what exactly is going through your mind?
So I will go through, oh my god, what goes through my mind? It's like a bloody mystery in there. I get excited because actually, funny enough, Robin calls me every morning at about 7, and I'll go for a walk and she talks to me on her walk. We'll have a chat for about an hour, and it's got into this habit of doing that. I think it happened just by accident. She messaged me early, and I was like, she was talking to me about this guy, and I was just like, oh, just call me. And we ended up having a chat and chatting for ages, and then she was like, oh, can I call you again in the morning tomorrow? I was like, yeah, okay. So, and now every day she'll call me, and it's really nice to have that sort of interaction and not go straight into thinking about work. I'm happy to do some emails on my phone, maybe when I go and sit down on the bench and have a look. I just really appreciate, I think because I'm from the countryside, like I was properly brought up in the depths of the countryside when I was little.
Depths.
On the depths.
Of the country.
In the valley. But I'm a proper country bumpkin, and I remember there's something I used to love where my parents lived, this little road, and the view across it, and there's a field that it's just very beautiful. And it's just, I get a lot of I just get a lot of energy from like nature and being around it and good things, and it feeds me. So what motivates me is being able to be around that and giving that as like a source. It's like a Duracell battery to charge me up for the day. If I don't get it or I don't do it, I massively notice that, like a lot. It makes a massive difference to my mood. And other motivations, your basic motivation, money, definitely. I need, to be able to have a life, be able to enjoy what I've got. But yeah, and hope. Live on hope a lot as well.
Hope for what?
I hope for everything to always get better. hope that today I'm not gonna, you know, I live in the hope that it's always gonna be a good, like it can always be a better day than the one before.
For you?
For me, for like, I don't have, the only other thing I'm responsible for in my life is my cat. And God, I love him to death. Probably too much. But, you know, I think at the moment, I'm hopeful and thankful that I'm not sick, I haven't had it, I'm pretty healthy, and that I still have a job, and, you know, I also live on the fact that I know everything will always be okay. Doesn't matter how much shit you go through sometimes in life, even when you're right at the bottom of it and you are hit rock bottom, which I have been times before in my life, and managed to pull myself out of it and move forward. I know that, you know, life has a way of making, you know, you will be alright, and that's what I live on. And I think because I've experienced those type of things before, you know, it doesn't phase me, like, you know, everything will always be okay. Even if it is shit at the moment, you will always be alright in the end. And that's the hope you hold on to. I don't think I answered that question much more. I'm not sure if I did really.
No, you did.
What motivates
I feel like in your own way.
Yeah, I know,
Except
but I don't even know what that was.
Okay.
What motivates you, George? Let's go back to you, sweetie.
What motivates me?
It's like, it's a question. I think the thing is, and I will let you answer this because, you know, I'm going to shut up in a minute. It's a question of in what part of your life are you talking about? Because our lives are segmented into different sides of it, isn't it?
Yeah, I can see that point of view. I can see that point of view. For me, I guess my motivation comes from one point and then feeds into those different segments. Like, it's almost like I feel like I have like a purpose in life, and everything I do should kind of, I guess, fill the journey for me to go on, essentially. So that's my motivation. I can answer that in so many ways, but to keep it very simple, I guess. There are certain things I like to do, I love to do, and I feel everything, my whole energy should be pushed into that thing in one way or another, rather. I might not really have like a clear vision of what that is or how it looks like, but it could like evolve from time to time again. But that's what motivates me to always like wake up in the morning. Take for example, let's say with everyone knows I like cooking, I love food and stuff like that. So
yeah, forever grateful for that.
Yeah, I know. So doing something like this, basically, just this is what motivates me.
Yeah, like a purpose. Yeah. Like, yeah, I get that. In that very simple way of very efficient way of saying that. And now explaining it to me a bit more.
It's based on my dreams, so I have several.
Are you still doing your website?
Which one?
The wedding one.
Oh no.
You dropped that, didn't you?
Yeah, I dropped that. That was
what one are you on now?
I'm always working on something, right?
I know, what are you working on?
This and I made an app which is in the process of being submitted. So
Maiden app.
I made an app, like a phone app.
Sorry.
Yeah.
You made an app. What is the app?
It's like a news aggregator.
Tell me more. A news aggregator.
So
It's just
car alarm or something.
I'm hoping it's a car alarm or it's a very high pitched dog.
Yeah. So it's basically an app that has different news sites, like kind of like on your iPhone.
Yeah.
You have the news app. It's basically very similar to something like that.
Okay. What's different about it?
It's focused on the Nigerian market. Yeah.
It's cool.
Yeah. So that was one of the things I was doing during lockdown.
You're very clever, aren't you? Very good with computers. And like, would you say, and does that involve coding and stuff?
Not as much as you would think, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because I do know a little bit of coding, some languages, but I'm not like an expert to any degree, I would say. So sometimes there are multiple ways of reaching a destination,
Yes.
if I can put it that way.
Yes.
So sometimes the fun is, I guess,
The journey?
not the journey, but finding a different route to
Mm.
get to the same destination. I like the idea of thinking outside the box,
Yeah.
basically. So
Not the traditional way of doing things
Yeah.
all the time. That's true. That's, I think. Depth. You've got depth. Someone said you've got your minerals, you've got substance, George.
I hope so.
Yeah. You and my friend Raphael, who are both two Gemini men I know, have got incredible depth to you. Because you guys are very curious. I feel like your minds are curious. And wanting to, not always say learning everything, but you are forever wanting knowledge.
Knowledge is.
Knowledge is power.
Knowledge is. Yeah.
I feel like I've struggled with that type of mindset a lot through this time. Like normally, a lot of people have been learning new things or whatever, or reading stuff. I feel like I think because I've been working so, solidly through it and adjusting to that, I feel like any time I've had any downtime, I've read a little bit. I wish I'd read more. I just want to not even think about anything and just really switch off. And I feel a bit annoyed with not annoyed with myself, but a bit like, I feel like I should be doing more. And there's still time to read more stuff. And I've got so many books which have been given to me to read and stuff as well, which I love reading, but I think sometimes at the end of the day I'm like, I just want to switch off and watch something like I already know, I don't think about.
I wouldn't actually beat myself over it, like if I was in your position, because you've been working all through. I wasn't in the same position, so.
Yeah, kind of sometimes wish it was a bit better. See what that feels like. Not a fucking chance, Jem. You've got work till you die. I like seeing people, them happy and being able to help people. Like one of the things I think I like to be able to help someone and be there for someone if I can in some sort of capacity, and that's what drives me. I think say part of the reason even with Robin and our conversations in the morning is that she'll talk to me regarding advice, and I really value if someone actually listens to it and actually does, listen to something I'm telling them, or I manage to help them in some way or giving them some sort of different direction of hope in that respect. And I think more than anything, that's what I actually get out of any of it, really. And I like to be able to, make makes someone feel better about themselves. I don't know. I kind of miss like having someone to teach, but I guess probably all back now a bit. But yeah.
Feels like I opened the door in your head. And ever since you've just been, it feels like I see like little Gemma just walking and like just, okay. Yeah.
Little Gemma. I know, I like it. She's walking around the mulberry bush, having a wander around, going, what does she like? I guess you just like no one ever really asks me, if I'm honest. I always have, I'm always there to help everyone else and be there for other people. And I do have, my friends are definitely there for me, but I definitely, and I've noticed a lot of them just always just assume I'm alright because I'm not someone who gets emotionally upset about certain things. I don't come out and I don't have a rant on Instagram, I don't have a rant on Facebook, I don't have a rant to anyone. If something isn't right, I will always deal with it myself. So I think when we have our conversations and stuff, because you always ask me certain things and no one really ever asks me anything like that. So it makes me wonder because I never really think about it because I never have these type of conversations with people. Which makes it really lovely when I do have this, with interaction with you and stuff. But then it just makes it, it's interesting when it's like, not so much. I mean, actually saying that Penny, who's a really old friend of mine and stuff, we have it. We don't really open up too many doors, like crazy doors. Well, actually, we had a good cry on the crane the other day, but. No one really cares, to be honest, do they? At the same time, you can ask someone, "Oh, how are you?" But it's so natural a thing to ask anyway because that's just what humans do.
Autopilot,
It's so autopilot, but no one really listens. How often is it that people genuinely actually mean it to want to know what is going on, and what percentage of your brain really picks up on it all, and do you genuinely mean? I think we've got to a point now where it's just so.
Oh, okay, cool. Yeah.
They go. Okay, cool, great. Yeah, great, cool, nice.
Yeah, nice to see you.
Yeah, cool, great weekend then.
Yeah,
cool, see you later.
Yeah. Alright, Charlie.
Yeah, and it's just like that. No depth sometimes at all anymore.
Okay, what's on what are you going to say?
No, I just feel a bit bad. You keep asking me questions and I should really think about some for you too.
No, it's a conversation. I answered my own question as well, right?
You did answer your own question. It was a very good one. I'm interested in what all your different little, all your projects are you're aiming for. I remember you telling me once that you wanted to get your own little cafe and have your own thing.
Like a restaurant.
Little restaurant, yeah.
Yeah.
Is that something you'd still want to do? Is that still a long-term aim?
Hopefully in a couple of years. It'll because I don't want to say too much about it, but I have a
vision
of what exactly it is and how it would run and things like that, which is exciting. So when it's almost like when you almost get into this routine with day-to-day life where you wake up in the morning, maybe you work out, go to work, come back, have dinner, repeat, recycle. I've noticed those moments where on a Sunday when the weather is nice, I decide to go for a walk, I start seeing things that I don't, not that I start seeing things, I start noticing things that on a normal day, I just walk by, I start seeing details, I start imagining things, I start reflecting, self-reflecting, thinking positive about the future, asking myself questions, growing in so many ways, like, and that's when it's then clear to me what those details are in terms of what I want, what I like to do. So taking, I guess, a step out of just life sometimes it's nice. I think it's important.
Do you find, because you almost had that opportunity during lockdown and being furloughed and having that space really to allow your head to go like this, you've been able to actually achieve certain things or achieve more things? You know, so you managed to do this app, which you probably wouldn't have done it, or you might not have had a chance to
do it properly.
You know.
Yeah, definitely. I think with the further one, it was definitely nice. At the same time, I put a lot of pressure on myself sometimes. So even though I wasn't working, like, 9 to 5. Your face, what?
They're like little tadpoles, aren't they?
When I was doing like my own personal projects, it felt like I was, I guess, doing my own 9 to 5 in a weird way.
Yeah.
But I still had time to.
It's kind of a way of trying to do it where you're. Yeah, like it's not. You don't. If you're doing your own thing, you don't want it to feel like a job, do you? Really?
Yeah, exactly.
And it's hard to try and do that, I guess.
Has anything changed for you dating wise in terms of post lockdown?
If you're not. I wanted that to go down.
You slurped out real good.
I really did. Sorry about that.
Sorry.
Yeah, I haven't been on one date other than that one guy.
Is it going to change things for you?
Well,
do you think?
The way I look at it, or the way I want to try and date people.
The way you look at it, the way exactly. The way you want to meet people.
Do you know what? This week has been the first week I've really been like trying this sort of law of attraction of who I want to meet properly. I think I've become quite. I've lost the enthusiasm to date people unless I meet them in person. I went back on Hinge for 3 days and then deleted it.
Yeah, it's the
I tried.
It's the normal cycle.
My friend Robin was like, I met my boyfriend. I was like, oh god. Okay. Felt a bit of pressure. She's like, just do it. And I think you really, and for me as well, I have to be in the right frame of mind to do something like that, and I have to be in the right frame of mind to want to try and meet someone or get my head in that process. And I think I've almost gone so the opposite way now. I was so consumed by it at one point about 2 years ago that I had to take myself out of it because it was not healthy. And then I've had to learn a different way of looking at things, a different way of thinking, a different way of being, almost reprogramming the way I assess myself when I date anyone, or how I should date, or how I should look at myself. And when I do, and what I should and shouldn't accept from people. So, now, even though it was nice going on that date with that guy, and I was like, oh, okay, again, it's the timing, the circumstance wasn't right at all. As well, I couldn't be, like, I just did not have any motivation when someone messaged me on this Hinge. I couldn't even bother to message them back. I had no motivation because I don't think my head at that time either was there. I was like...
Because of the times, or because of you personally?
Because of me, I just wasn't... Okay. I really... For who I am as a person, I would always love to meet someone face to face, because I think I get so much more out of that, to the point that I get more from, say, someone who I might have seen on an app and not found attractive, or I might actually meet them in person in a pub, their personality, something would happen.
I'm exactly the same.
And I would find it, I
would
find them more attractive like that, and I'm naturally inclined to meet someone like that, and that's how I've always actually met people. And anyone who I have met in the past 2 years like that has had more longevity than anyone I've ever met on an app. Or they hasn't been. I can't say that because obviously this guy who I met this year, but I don't think it's time. Life and timing sometimes doesn't work out correctly. In that respect, but I'm grateful to have met him, because I met someone who I thought was really gorgeous. I haven't seen anyone I really fancy like that much for a long time. I thought I still couldn't get that, and I thought I wasn't sometimes able to, because you kind of doubt yourself because it's been so fucking long. I don't even know what I can pull anymore. Anyway, but I mean, it has been a long time, I'll be honest with you, George. I don't know. And now I know, now I'm trying to put it out in the universe to meet someone right, and this type of person, and I'm looking forward to meeting that person and them coming into my life. But I've got to make room for them. My life is, and I think that's the thing as well, like I don't really make room for some people sometimes. I do move, I would move stuff around and stuff, and I have becoming more flexible, but I'm so independent now. I don't really
Can you give me an example of that?
What, making room?
Like making room for something.
Well, the way it was talked about in this sort of podcast is like you need to make space in your life, make space for someone, say like, even, for example, for me, I've got Roscoe, and he is incredibly like needy, and I give all of my love I have is in that cat. Like even the card lady said to me, "You've got a cat, haven't you?" And she's like, I hadn't even spoken to her about it. She said, "You've got a cat and you have two which follow you around." And she said, "Two walked in the door with you." So I used to have cats when I was younger. She said, "They hold all of your love, all of it." And I was like, okay. And I was like, I'm so worried for giving my cat so much. But I got my cat when we were coming out. I was literally had a completely broken heart, and Roscoe got given to me as a present, and I probably put everything into that, or he helped. That's not the point, but he sleeps on my bed, and he now, say on my double bed, sleeps next to me here. In the morning I'm pushed over and he's on that side. Now,
Okay.
if someone stays over,
Okay.
he's just like, who is that? Does not like it at all. Well, he doesn't jump on that person, but he doesn't like the fact that he's pushed out,
How can you tell? I don't know how cats behave. So
he just, normally he'd be trying to sleep on the bed, and he'll move somewhere else or sleep somewhere else in the bedroom, but he does not, he'll come in, and what he'll do is try and wake me up in the middle of the night a little bit to try and get my attention again, so he can squeeze back in somewhere. He doesn't like that he hasn't got his space. He likes his cuddle, he gets quite like a crazy cat person, but I can't describe it. I literally just can't.
I get what you're describing.
This morning,
I'm not
this morning. I've been sleeping slept on my arm like this, and he'd kind of got here, and he'd decided to come and sit opposite me. He just was like that with his paws, just touching my face, and I was like, "What are you doing?" Just ignore it. But I was like, so cute. I'm just gonna have to give him a stroke. I was such a sucker. What he tells me.
You sound like a cat.
I know. I can't help it. What can I say? But anyway, I guess it's just instead of trying to. Well, I used to have plans every single night of the week. Just have time. Give yourself time and space, and be able to have space and time for yourself, or to allow someone else to take that up for you instead. I get, I've got so much crap in that house. I need to kind of get rid of quite a bit of stuff, or even, it's not like I need to you need to empty a drawer for someone else, but I guess it's just make room in your life to be able to open to have someone else come into it and be able to be there and have experiences together, But yeah, I don't know, man. It's tricky. I'm open to it. I'm open to dating, and I'm open to meeting someone. I really 100% would like to meet someone, and I think in my head I'd like to meet someone properly that person now. That would be amazing. Hence, but with say this situation last weekend with that guy, I had great chemistry with him, and I think we said earlier, when I was 25, I'd have probably just stayed there and then stayed over anyway, and maybe done whatever would happened, and then next morning go home. But actually, this time I was like, no. Even though he's asked me to stay, and then he's texted his mate to say, can you send her back? I've got more self-respect for myself these days, and I'm not going to do that. I'm going to go home, and if you need me, if you don't want me, you know where I am, you can get my number. I was like, I can't do it.
Yeah, I feel. Well, where did I read this? It goes without saying, but if it means you have to be single for 5 years from your last relationship, and I guess have that self-respect and know exactly what you want, be happy with yourself, and everything you have to offer, versus being in multiple relationships that are basically aren't going well, and there's one sub story after the other. I'll definitely take the single.
Yeah. And I was that person of one dating guy after another, in between a couple of months going on, but there was always someone in the background who didn't work, and let's just go on to this. Oh, it didn't work, and it was getting so much like that I even went to my friend who's like, Gemma, you need to go and see someone. Or I think after my mum died, I just remember my brother saying to me, you just need to meet someone so you're not alone. And I was like, am I alone? I don't feel lonely. And he just really hit home that I felt like, oh my God, I must have some, I should probably try and meet someone. But it was in a desperation way of anyone I met, or could they be potential? And that was the thought process. And you can never really, that's not a healthy way to have in the next person I meet. Oh my God, that, and you just can't think like that. And I got too much into that way of thinking. I don't think like that at all now, and I'm incredibly comfortable on being on my own. And I am, if it takes longer to meet that person, I accept that, and I will go through that journey, and I am happy to do it, and I don't feel lonely. I never feel like I'm alone, or that I haven't got anyone. I've got people around me who can give me a lot of love.
Yeah, that's nice. No, that was nice.
I feel like I've opened a can of worms. Some people might oh yeah, but you need that one person. I don't think you do. I think you get love from a lot of people, really. I don't think you should have to ever rely on one person just to give you that.
Oh, for sure, yeah.
You need it from many people, your friends and family, more than anything. What do you think about love?
Oof.
What's your idea, when I was talking to you about the idea in the middle part of our...
the lost tapes?
The lost tapes, in the lost tapes of Gemma and George. And about how, you're looking for someone with these certain aspects to their personality or whatever.
Yeah, I'm actually going to make a comment on, I guess, on my perspective. well, you clarified your points with regards to what you were referring to with taking the best out of every person you met and looking for that soulmate in the end. I guess from my perspective, what I've learned is there's no perfect person out there, and when you meet someone who I feel has those values that are important to you, from the descriptive, standard, or kind, and all that, to the more physical, beautiful, sexy, like even that person still has flaws. And for me, it's if you can learn to love those flaws, that's then is the definition of that relationship, of you loving that person. If you can't love those flaws, then
you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Yeah, so true.
Yeah.
And everyone has them.
Yeah.
No
Exactly.
one is flawless.
Yeah.
At all.
Oh, I have baggages. Oh no, actually, no, let me not say that.
Oh, sorry, it's all coming in there. Got baggage, babe. I got baggage.
I should say I'm not perfect.
No.
Rather, not that I have baggages. I'm not perfect. Like there's so many ways I'm always trying to improve, and I have weaknesses, but there are no weaknesses for life and stuff. But what matters is the person that is with me understands those weaknesses and is willing to be patient and work with me through those weaknesses as well. And one of the most
What's one of them? Maybe.
so what are the weaknesses? They're not important.
Aww.
They're not important.
I like the way you taste things. I've watched you before when you try stuff, the way you eat things. It's very considered.
Oh.
Because
Okay.
you're like, are you really?
Do I look like that when I'm tasting? It's like
Because you really like food, and but not just the fact, oh, this is really nice, but like you're passionate about like the flavour and the taste and the texture. So I feel like any time you have a mouthful of something, you're going through all of those things when you try it in your head. But your face looks like it's doing that. I might be talking out of the box.
You're not the first person to say that. Yeah, I've had it before.
But you look like you're really tasting it for what it is. Which is good. Maybe it's not weakness, because you don't, you say when you have flaws, I think everyone has them, because they've also, from past relationships, you can build up certain ideas or way, people do affect you and their behaviour, and you become either more wary of certain things going forward with other relationships, and you do, I wouldn't say necessarily it's a flaw, but you notice certain things which maybe you wouldn't have noticed previously or whatever in people's behaviour, the way they've been, just from past experiences. And sometimes, it's stuff you have to kind of try and work through that game to try and trust that person to make sure that they don't do that type of stuff to you.
Yeah, I'm always very careful about that in particular, because I feel like sometimes I see that behavior stop some people from actually developing relationships where they are basing certain traits that they've encountered in the past and are putting that mirror on their new partner because they.
Difficult, isn't it? Just try and stop that. Yeah, like trust and stuff.
Yeah.
I think trust is a big one, isn't it?
Communication. communication is.
Communication's massive, and I don't think people communicate enough, even at our age. They should do. Like, you know, I feel like I've been trying to tell my friend that all week. I was like, you just talk to each other. Like, if you're getting annoyed and you're getting yourself worked up or whatever it is, trust me, that person is not going to know what the fuck they've done, and they're not mind reader, and they're not, but they're just different. It's like, in their head, they will not know that they're being different. They'll just think you're maybe being different because you're acting a certain way. And then it's just this counter reaction going on. It's like, you need to just speak to each other and have a conversation.
At least if you have the conversation, you know what the...
Yeah, exactly. I know that sometimes some people are not very good at that type of thing, or having a conversation, an adult conversation, without it being a bit of someone throwing in a joke or a bit of blame game or twisting it because they're like, don't have a dig at me, you know. And I think that's where you have to try and word things a certain way sometimes, isn't it?
On a lighter note,
Yeah.
what are you watching on Netflix? What have you seen recently?
I saw White Lines, finally got through that god awful series.
Oh, okay. I was about to ask, was it good?
Nah, it's alright. The girl main character I found really fucking annoying. Borderline just killer. She was alright. I think her character was meant to be a bit like that, but she was just very hard to.
Relate to?
Yeah, I think I couldn't relate to her very well with her decisions she was on, her reactions to certain things were.
Yeah.
And things at the same time. So yeah, that I watched that, and then do you know what? I have not had the fucking chance to watch much recently. Not really anything. Anytime I try and if I get into new stuff, like Alex has he's watching a series at a time during the whole day, and I'm just like, oh, I don't even start anything. What I'll end up doing is watching a series I've seen before, just because it might be late.
Comfort.
And just the comfort,
you know what to expect.
Exactly.
An anime called Parasite. I'm not sure if you're...
The film?
No.
Oh.
Oh, no. Okay, yeah, there is a film called Parasite now.
Yeah.
This is an anime. It's very different. Do you watch anime at all?
No.
So they usually have very weird storylines sometimes. One day, parasites basically start raining down on Earth. Not literally raining, but they just start falling down the sky.
Food, yeah.
And their intention is to land on humans, crawl up through their nose to their brain and take over.
Oh.
And you can't really tell that they're parasites because I guess they've just infected the brain, but they can kind of transform
into the body,
into the like parasite alien looking body. So the main character we follow, he kind of wakes up while the parasite just lands on his hand, and it's like, oh, he thinks it's a snake, so he tries to fight the parasites and stuff, right? I don't believe they can last long without entering the host. So the parasite just panics and just goes through his hand. The problem is immediately it enters like an organic part of the body. It basically just lives there. It can't like from the hand then go to the brain.
Yeah.
So essentially this guy still has his brain intact, but his hand is like a different alien essentially. And it's like a journey of how humanity has some of these parasites. They've infected other people, and yeah, it goes places. It's like a page turner. You just want to know what happens next.
You're reading it?
No, I'm watching it.
Is
Did you
it
comic books as
cartoon
well?
then?
Yeah. So it's interesting.
That sounds quite like a dark type of like storyline for it.
Yeah, it can
Must
get
be
bloody.
Film The Host as well.
I don't think I've seen
No, wait,
South
like-
Korean.
No, it's not Sam. It's no, it was written by the author who wrote Twilight.
What was that?
Twilight. And it's based on the idea of these sort of parasites. You don't know how they've ended up getting in. I can't remember how they don't really tell you.
Yeah.
They just sort of say this has happened to the planet, and they're in the back of their necks and again attached to the brain, and they become the host and change lives.
Yeah.
And there's a certain amount of people left who are still human, but in most of the world now is these people they call the host parasites, really.
Was there a movie?
Yeah, it's a movie.
Oh yes, I remember it now.
Yeah.
Oh, so it's the writer of Twilight.
Yeah, she wrote that book.
I vaguely remember it.
Yeah. It's got Saoirse Ronan in it.
Yes.
Saoirse Ronan. Sasha. I can never say
I do not know
her
how to
name.
pronounce her name.
Never.
Yeah.
Sasha. Saoirse. She's Irish, isn't it?
Yeah.
God damn it.
Great.
Saoirse.
Are you asking me?
I know. He's like, come on, Gem. I don't even know. Something like that. Her and Max Irons, they're the lead characters in it.
Hell.
But it's just reminded me of that, that's all.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what I'm watching. So.
Oh god, too many. That sounds good. I want a good one. Like, I'm torn between, like, I love watching a TV series, but if I get so addicted to something, it's not healthy. Like, I can get really addicted like that, like even to a book. Not to like, it will always be to a TV show or whatever.
Oh.
Like normal people, I watched the whole thing in one night in the end.
Wow.
12 episodes.
Wow.
Yeah. I started at like 7 o'clock, 6:30, 7, just watched the whole lot. Obsessive. I was like, this is too good. Okay, next one. And I'm not kidding you, George, it was like a roller coaster of emotions. And I went to bed and I could not sleep. I was like, oh my god, that was just so intense. I don't know what to do. And I've even read the book and I was like, my god, my head. Oh my god, I couldn't sleep at all and I had such a bad night's sleep because I just was thinking about the whole film and the scenarios and what happened. Okay, Law of Attraction. I was thinking about the lead character in that film, and he lives in Clapton, and I cycle to Hackney Marshes a lot to see my friend Raf, and I have to go through Clapton. And I follow him on Instagram, and I was like, oh, I recognise that area. It's in Hackney Marshes. I was like, oh my god. And I remember specifically one day I was cycling down, and I was like, oh my god. I wonder if I ever see him in Hackney Marshes, like that will even happen, how random that would be. I'm not kidding, I was cycling down the road. When I turned down to get onto the canal, he was walking up the other side of the street with one of the girls from it, and I saw him and I was like, how? How did that happen? What are the chances of that actually happening? And you make it happen. I should have been like, meet him, not just see him. Meet him and make him fall in love with me. 24-year-old, yeah, that's the way forward. Oh, so young. So tender. Do you feel please.
I was about to ask you something, but I'll hold that. I'll hold that for next time.
No, ask me now. Oh.
What's your age limit?
Ooh. Okay.
Both like young and old.
Okay, age limit to have a proper relationship with.
Or what? Or just sex?
No. I didn't say those words.
Okay, sorry, carry
You said
on.
those words.
Okay, proper relationship.
Okay,
right?
so
Yeah.
proper relationship, I would say the youngest. God, it's hard these days because trying to find someone mature at all. But I say the youngest would have to be 30, 31, 5 years younger than me, max. Oldest for me is, I do about 9 to 10 years now, so 44. But yeah, and I would go younger than 30 if it was just a little bit of fun, and there was some attraction there.
Yeah.
I think younger than 30 for my age to date, I'm just like a novelty to them, like, ooh, if it was a hot older woman or something, you know. Because I don't, you know, I'm 35 now. I don't feel like I look 35, whatever 35 looks like, but I do still feel like I can probably just about get away with 32 in my head. Yes, Gemma, I totally agree. You do definitely look that young. Thanks, George.
Oh, were you looking for me to reassure
Yes,
you?
I would. I was. Was I fishing at all in any way? Christ's sake, almighty. Just do it for myself.
You sounded confident enough to believe.
I know,
so,
I am.
Yeah, exactly.
I believe it.
You did not need me to add to your.
Sorry, I'm past this. That's true. Funny enough, like the girl who came to look at the flat the other day, she's 34, and I was like, you look young as well. Like, but I know like my wrinkles here. So, going next month.
You'll be surprised, right? Like, I can't really speak for all guys. Sometimes it's like you meet a guy, you're at a bar, he's looking straight at you, you think, oh my god, this is the bit on my forehead. I have like 5 lines on there. He must be thinking I'm like 40. Like all that is going through your head, but he's just looking at you and he's thinking, oh my god, what am I going to say next to her? She's so gorgeous. I don't want her to think I'm a knob.
Do guys actually think like that?
Yes, at least some do. No, I can't speak for all guys. Some do. Obviously, some are just confident. And,
some just like, damn, I'm so this girl.
Yeah, it's natural. Oh.
Yeah, I think that's so my age limit downwards minimum, just in case Paul Mescal ever wants to pop along. I mean, you know, I'd totally go out with him anyway. I think I don't want to. People say, you know, age is just a number. I do think people in their 20s and now I'm in my 30s. You know, there is that different development of the way. You know, some people are a bit older or what. You know, some people are. It really depends on that person how they.
Yeah.
Whereas, you know, from my experience, those guys that young, not a fucking chance. You know, even my ex-boyfriend, when we met each other when we were 24, and I really wish he'd got his shit together a lot more, but he just hadn't. He didn't grow up for a long time. Even now he probably isn't. But then everyone's different, you know, and I do think it is how you're raised and what values are given to as well, you know, too. I think it is a lot about that. But, yeah, so I don't want to say, you know, if I could have a meaningful relationship with someone who is 5 years younger than me, 6 years younger than me, then great. You know, if that is that person I'm meant to be with and it works and we have a great time, then it doesn't matter, does it? Really, because it's just about that person you're with and having that sort of connection with them. So I'm open really, but ideally someone in their 30s for me. What about you? Catching up with me.
Not that I'm not looking for anything.
Yeah. So while you're away, darling, the cats will play. No drama. We don't need to add this in. This is be just closing.
Relationship wise, 35. In terms of younger, 22. But the younger the age, the less probability I would
have a relationship with them.
Yeah. We can end it now. Yeah.
Yeah. We might have to.
Yeah.
My son home is going to be slow. At least it will be less heavy with that bottle of wine.
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, this was fun.
This was fun. I feel like I could just chat for you for ages, to be honest.
See? Like, you forgot the camera was there, right?
Yeah,
Kinda.
yeah, kind of. I just kind of just give up. I just like, I don't care.
Yeah.
You know, walking.
You just gave your best side. You stopped being like, you just turned.
I'm just here chill,
Yeah.
just chat. But yeah.